Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm so glad you're here. Today we are joined by Ginny. She's decided to sit on my lap. Don't know how long that'll last, but here we are. So in today's video, I'm going to teach you guys how you can protect your energy from all things negative, evil, whether that is curses, bad luck, family members that you feel like you don't really want to talk to, but at the same time you've kind of got to because they're your family members, and all that good stuff. So we're going to do 3 different spells. One that takes literally seconds to do. Second, taking a little bit longer and a little bit more energy. Third one will provide you with maximum results. So obviously I'm saving the best for last. So without further ado, shall we teach them how to do some spells? Yeah? No? We'll teach you guys how to do some spells. Okay, first spell, literally all you're going to need is a pen. I don't really recommend using Sharpie because you will be doing it on your skin. So if you have anything like skin safe pens, or if you don't mind using a Sharpie, that's completely fine. I don't mind. Eyeliner or anything like that that you can draw with on your skin, that's all you're going to need. So we're going to be using the Algis rune. Algis rune is part of the Elder Futhark runic alphabet, which relates to Norse paganism and all that sort of stuff. So if you didn't know, I'm Norse pagan, and you can use other runes or anything like that that you resonate with, but this is the one I resonate with most and what has worked for me countless times. So what you're going to do is on your right wrist, you're literally going to draw the Algis rune on your wrist. So the idea of this is that as you're going about your day-to-day life, you have got this protection rune protecting you from all things negative, whether that's bad luck, co-workers at work that you don't really want to deal with. The idea is that having this rune drawn on you will protect you as you go about your daily life. Like I said, easy peasy, easiest thing you can do. So there is a debate on whether you should write it on your right wrist or your left wrist. It is completely up to you, because at the end of the day, I personally associate your right wrist with receiving, so in other words receiving protection, whereas your left wrist I receive it as like letting go and all that sort of stuff. But some people think about it the other way around. It's entirely up to you what you want to go for. As long as your intentions are crystal clear, at the end of the day, that's all that matters. So now that you've got your protective rune on your wrist, the second spell that we're going to do is going to take a little bit longer, but if you have 10-15 minutes, that's completely fine. But if you want to spend a little bit longer on it, that's also completely fine. So what you're going to do, you're going to get hold of a black candle, if you have one. If you don't necessarily have a black candle, you can use a white one, because at the end of the day, white can represent any colour. So if you don't have black, feel free to use white. You're going to get hold of your candle. You're then going to write your name on the candle. It could be your full name, it could just be your first name. It doesn't really matter, whatever you feel like doing. And then you're going to get hold of some salt, and you're going to create a little salt circle around the candle and set light to your candle. So easy peasy. The whole idea of this is like the candle represents you, and the salt is a common ingredient that's used in witchcraft for protection. So you're creating a salt circle of protection around yourself to prevent any negative energies or anything coming into your life. So as you're doing so, allow the candle to burn fully and really concentrate on your intentions. So as your candle is burning, visualize the salt circle of protection forming around you and preventing anything negative from disrupting your day or your life or anything like that. So allow the candle to burn fully, as always, because it allows the spell to completely finish. However, if you don't necessarily have time, you can always pause it and then come back to it. It's up to you. Or if you have a slightly smaller candle, so you could use little birthday candles or a tea light, that's also completely fine. They tend to burn a lot quicker. So if you are in a rush, you can do that. But if you feel like you have all day and you want to dedicate the whole entire day to that protection spell, you can get a big massive candle and do it that way instead. Okay, so the last spell obviously is going to be a spell jar. And spell jars are absolutely perfect for carrying your intentions around with you when you're on the go. So creating a protection spell jar that you can carry around with you on a daily basis is the ultimate way of protecting yourself from any negative energies or anything like that. So what you're going to do is you're going to get yourself a spell jar. And when I say spell jar, it could be a coffee container that ran out, or it could be a spice jar, or it could literally be a little cork jar that I usually use on all the spell jars that I make for everyone. Small glass jar with a little cork in, and you can use that. So what I want you guys to do is I want you to get a hold of some salt, some chili peppers. It can be dried chili, it can be chili flakes, whatever floats your boat. Just make sure when you're handling it, because last time I did this I got a chili flake in my eye. It was not fun at all in the slightest. So salt, chili, a little bit of kitchen sage, garden sage, whatever you want to call it. I want you to also get some black pepper, and if you have a pen and piece of paper, that will also be great, because we can write our intentions on that and then put it into the spell jar as well. Before you start putting any of your ingredients in, I want you to get your spell jar. If you have any incense or anything, you can give it a quick cleanse. If not, you can just run it under the tap to make sure there's like no lingering energies that you don't necessarily want in there. On your piece of paper, I want you to write your name and the Alga's rune that we used earlier on in the video, as that represents protection. So I want you to write it on a tiny piece of paper, put it into the spell jar, and as you're doing so, visualize yourself becoming more and more protected from any negative energies that may affect your life. And then after that, I want you to add each ingredient. You can think about the properties of the ingredient as you're doing so, or you could literally just think of the idea of protection. Once you've added them all in together, I then want you to get hold of a candle. It can be any kind of candle, preferably white or black, as they can represent protection. As you're doing so, I want you to melt the candle over the top of the cork jar, sealing it shut. If you have a spice jar or anything like that has a screwed lid, you don't necessarily have to do this part. You can if you want, it's entirely up to you. It doesn't really affect it, but if you've got something like a corked jar, then sealing it is a very good idea. Okay, so once you've created your protection spell jar, it's entirely up to you what you want to do with it now. You can carry it around with you on your person, so literally in your pocket or in your bag as you go about your day-to-day life. You could put it under your pillow, you can meditate with it, you can literally use the spell jar however you want. There's a variety of different ways. Whatever your gut feeling and intuition is telling you to use it, do it that way. At the end of the day, it is your spell jar and you can work with it however you want. The only thing I would say is maybe not chucking it in a dark corner and forgetting about it is the best way, because when it comes to manifestation, it's all about repetition and having a visual reminder that this thing you're trying to manifest is going to come true. So having it near you where you're going to see it on a regular basis or carrying it with you is the best form of protection. Okay, so they are your 3 ways of simple and easy protection, protecting yourself from all things negative energy, evil forces, anything like that. If you don't necessarily want to make a protection spell jar yourself, I do have them available on my website, and I do make them to order for that specific customer. So if there is any specific things you would like to be protected from, feel free to drop me a message and I'll create one for you that way. But other than that, I hope you guys have a good day. I'm currently dying. I apologise if this is a relatively short video. If there is a particular spell or a particular intention that you want me to teach you guys on, feel free to let me know, as I will do my best to create a video on that. I hope you guys have a good day, and fingers crossed I won't be as ill next week, because I'm currently dying. My brain's not working right now. But anyway, I'll speak to you guys soon. Bye.